business is just the same as growing a tree. You first need to ensure the strength of the roots and sustainable growth for it to blossom and bloom. So today, we'll be dominating Africa with sincerity. Hi everyone, we're the HKU team. I'm Haley, this is Sunny, Lucine, and Margaret, and let's begin. So we have a few key successful factors, and as you can see, a lot of the things are actually linked together. So first of all, we want to have after sales and maintenance, and localization and targeting in order for it to go through the economies of scale. So how can Sincerity, a motorcycle company, expand further and ensure business sustainability in Africa in total? So we have 3 interlocking strategies, and as you can see, a chain reaction would begin. So first, we would like to push west with Mogu. We have a blue ocean strategy in Southern Africa, and also we would like to spiral into success with strategic partnerships. And below are the KPIs.
Thank you, Haley. So now let's take a look at the situation analysis and what's happening currently in the continent. So Africa is actually a very large continent with over 54 countries and 5 regions, categorized mainly into Northern Africa, Eastern Africa, Southern Africa, Central Africa, and Western Africa. All of these come together to make approximately 1.5 billion people as a total population, and also over 2.8 normal GDP on. Now let's take a deeper look into the market analysis into each specific segment. So in terms of Western Africa, here's one of the top markets, and in terms of Nigeria, they approximately have over 390 billion USD in nominal GDP, and it is actually also the most populous country out of them all, with over 223 million in total population. In addition, it is also currently Africa's most largest oil producer and has approximately 1.7k GDP per capita. However, this is very interesting to note, as given such a large country, it's actually got less GDP per capita than populations like Eastern Africa with Seychelles and Mauritius, with approximate GDP per capita for around 20.8k USD and 11.75k USD per each. And in addition, there are also some key markets to look out for, namely Egypt, which is also a very large market in Northern Africa, and Southern Africa, with mainly South Africa specifically as the top market. In addition, it's also characterized by its high GDP per capita, with a total population of approximately 69 million overall. However, it actually rated approximately 1.7k per USD for GDP per capita. In terms of Central Africa, there's actually quite low competition. However, it also struggles with political instability, which is partially the reason for this low competition. Now, let's move on to the company background of what we're working with today. Currently, it operates in 8 countries across both Eastern Africa and Southern Africa. And the key issue we are facing today, there is no market presence in most of Africa, as you can see from the blue parts I've highlighted, which are the operating regions that we are currently in today. And this fails to meet economies of scale for our operations, as the more we produce, the more we can make use of our facilities in order to lower the cost. Now, let's also take a quick look at the existing operations and what we're working with today. In terms of the product lines that we're targeting, we've actually got 2 specific lines that target different market segments. And in terms of the in-house brands, we have TSC, which mainly manufactures parts and accessories and is targeted at the lower end of the value chain. And in terms of bikes, we've got Axonic, which is in the mid-range, which facilitates joining both the low and high end. And in terms of the distributor side, we've got Honda, which is seen as a relatively high-end brand, and also some additional OEM brands. And this is all distributed through our network, Mogu. So today, I'll now pass the time on to Haley to talk about our specific elements of our strategy, namely from strategy 1 to 3 in creating this network with blooming and our trees.
So today we'll be focusing on this chain of strategies, and first of all, it will be pushing west with Mogu, and we were targeting Western African countries that Sincerity already has its presence in. And the second strategy is to further expand throughout the continent to Southern Africa, since this is a blue ocean market, and we'll talk about that later. And finally, we'll be spiraling into success with strategic partnerships with African startups such as Spiro.
Thanks, Haley. So how does these 3 solutions really tie in together? So as mentioned earlier by Haley, where growing a business is very similar to growing a tree, we need to have a very strong foundation, and we need to strengthen the roots in order for the tree to grow successfully. And therefore, pushing west with Mogu by extending the network of the retail chain, we will be able to help expand our network across the current markets that Sincerity already operates within Africa. And to further expand the company's reach within the continent, we would also move further to the Southern Africa part, and therefore we would be able to branch out into newer regions and for further growth. And therefore, in the longer term, we would also target to have a higher business sustainability through collaborating with Spiro, which is a startup that offers a trade-in service for internal combustion motorcycles, and in turn giving the customers a new electrical bike. And now let's pass the time to talk about strategy 1, where we will be pushing west with Mogu and to tap into further existing markets. So to strengthen the existing business roots by expanding Mogu, we first also need to understand what is Mogu and what is Mogu currently doing. So Mogu is its retail chain of Sincerity, which basically also sells their in-house bikes as well as the distributing the other brands. So currently, Mogu has more than 40 stores in only 4 African countries, which only represents about 50% of the countries that Sincerity operates in. However, with a very vigorous target of 500 to 1,000 stores in the next 5 years, according to the company, it is necessary to see that we will be facing the increased competition from our India competitors, as well as another hurdle, which is the key success factor, which after-sales service have to be met in order to establish a stronger foundation for Sincerity. And through Mogu, we will be able to provide these services and therefore reach this key success factor. However, how exactly are we going to help Mogu expand? The answer lies with localization, which will also be explained by Haley in a second. Here, let me give you a brief understanding. So the key part would be to diverge Mogu into 2 brands, which is Mogu, which will continue its current services, targeting a more value approach, whereby we will be selling lower pricing products, whereas we also will have Mogu Plus, which is a new offering. However, we actually already have the capabilities, and we will be selling higher priced products. So for example, if we're talking about Honda motorcycles, which would also be appealing to customers who have higher purchasing power. And now I'll pass the time to Haley and to talk about the Blue Ocean strategy.
So as mentioned quite a few times by the company, right now they're only focusing on Western Africa. However, in such a big continent, there are so many different areas that is such a good business opportunity that Sincerity should tap in. So we would begin in Southern Africa. So we have conducted an alternatives analysis regarding the different regions in Africa. And as you can see here, we have a few different metrics such as political stability, economic development, diversity of income levels, and also the competitive landscape. So if we look at Western Africa, as mentioned quite a few times by my teammate, it is a quite saturated market with a lot of Indian competitors. And for the Northern Africa, it is relatively unstable in the politics, and it is not competitive as well. It's not a lot of companies have entered the market. And this goes the same for Central and East Africa, when a lot of competitors are actually absent from the market. However, if we look at the GDP and economic developments of Southern Africa, we believe that it is a perfect opportunity for Sincerity to tap into. So as mentioned, it is a large potential market. It is untapped by most of its Indian competitors, and also there is a huge diverse income level within the whole region. And as we mentioned, Mogu Plus, it is targeting the premium segment of the motorcycle clients, and for Mogu, it will be targeting the value segment. And right now, for example, in countries like Botswana, South Africa, and Namibia, the GDP per capita is above 4K USD per annum, and we believe that these are the perfect clients in order to promote these type of premium products, such as the Honda bikes, and obviously the value offerings that we will still be included in the Mogu Plus stores. However, for normal Mogu, we will be targeting normal value segment clients, and we'll be promoting Apsonic and TSC models, and we'll be targeting Southern African countries such as Eswatini and Lesotho.
So thank you, Kaylee. Moving on to our strategy 3, we see there is a growing market for EV and also electric motorcycles in Africa. So we're going to have a strategic partnership with Spiro to tap into this sustainable market in the future. So let me walk you through the current market of the electric motorcycles in Africa. So by McKinsey research, we see that riders who use electric motorcycles, they can reduce 68% of the cost. And in Africa, there are more than 20 startups that doing electric transport transitions. So a startup that mentioned in the case is Spiro, and we aim to have a strategic partnership with this company. And currently, Spiro is doing manufacturers swap and go battery in their stores, and also have a 24/7 battery supporting centers that allow riders to charge their battery. And then the pain point that startup faces like Spiro is a lack of a market presence in Africa, because currently the company only started in 2022, and they also need to boost the sales on its customers and also the services that it's providing. And for Sincerity, our company, we have been producing and launching the new development of electrical motorcycles. So combining the two components of these two companies, we can definitely find a strategic partnership for the sustainable EV market. So here is the electrical motorcycle ecosystem. So currently, Spiro has tapped into 3 value chain, which is the distribution of the electric motorcycles, the charging hubs for the battery, and also have like a swap-to-go battery swaps. And so we propose a strategic partnership for Sincerity to work with Spiro in these 3 parts. And for this one is, you can see our proposed partnership. So on the upper side, you can see the Sincerity with the launch of the Mogu and also Mogu Premium. Through the distribution of electric motorcycles, it can increase its distribution channels through the episodic electric motorcycles in the Spiro stores. And also for charging hubs, it can have more capacity of charging batteries for its customers. And also for Spiro, you can see like Spiro can increase their electric motorcycles customers, and it can receive like the after sales that Sincerity has been good at, and then to provide better maintenance for Spiro customers. And for the charging hub business, after this partnership with Sincerity, Spiro is going to have an increase in business and also market penetrations. So in the long term, we aim to have also a share of technology and resources, namely conducting more battery swaps between the 2 companies, and also to boost the whole market presence for these 2 companies in Africa. So this partnership is actually a mutually beneficial collaboration between the 2 companies. And moving on, I'll pass the time to Lucy.
Thank you so much, Marguerite. So after the 3-part solution, we've returned back to our analogy of the tree. Firstly, there's pushing west with Mogu, which builds our roots. We are here to build the capacities in operation for further expansion, and we aim to build a strong foundation in order to expand into such a large continent and potential market. Then, we look at the medium term with our Blue Ocean strategy in Southern Africa, where we aim to expand and branch out into new markets for further growth with Mogu Plus. Then, last but not least, we aim to foster long-term success with spiraling into success, sustaining a long-term